Hey Upload, it's Jamie here. I am wrapping up the first day of Gamescom. Traditionally, Gamescom hasn't been the biggest show for VR. You don't actually see that many VR games here. This year it's actually different. I've seen quite a lot of cool content today, and we've still got quite a lot of cool content coming up. So the first thing I saw today was Groundhog Day Like Father Like Son, which is a sequel to the Bill Murray movie Groundhog Day, which is a little strange, I know, but well, actually the game's a little strange as well, but I think it's pretty interesting. There's going to be some really interesting storytelling going on in this game, trying to manipulate characters as you go day by day, learning more about the way the world around you is working. I saw some of the mini games, which were pretty fun to play with. We'll see how it turns out. It's coming out next month, and I'm really hoping for something special, but it could go either way, I think. After that, I headed over to the VR showcase. Now, this is about 6 or 7 VR indie developers all gathering under one roof to try and show press the latest games they're working on. First thing I saw was something we announced at the E3 VR showcase a couple of months ago, The Curious Tale of Stolen Pets. Gorgeous art style, very interesting little puzzler. Kind of hoping for something that's quite, sprightly and fun from that one. Also saw more budget cuts, which still seems to be going fine. Yeah, more budget cuts is great. I've always been, concerned about the AI in that game. That's what really let down the first one for me, and it seems like it's picked up a good way in this one. So I'm hoping that that one will work out quite well. Also saw The Wizard's Dark Times. That is gorgeous. Really amazing graphics on that one. Love the gesture system still, I think that's quite interesting. They're making an effort to make it feel more like a campaign this time around rather than like a wave shooter, which I think is a trap the first one fell into, and hoping that will be quite successful. Also saw The Walking Dead. As you know, that's The Walking Dead, shooting zombies, stabbing zombies. Yeah, that's pretty much a lot, right? Last game I saw at the showcase was Down the Rabbit Hole. Now this is a new game from Cortopia Studios, the guy that gave us Wands a couple of years ago. This is an intriguing little game. It's presented almost as a storybook, a panoramic storybook if you will. You control a set of characters in Wonderland. You take them from panel to panel, almost like a comic book. There's some puzzling in there. There's some really interesting VR locomotion in there. Some really interesting VR storytelling in there. Definitely one to keep an eye out for. Finally today, I saw something I was really interested in. It's called Paper Beasts. Now this is a new game from the guy that actually brought us one of my favorite video games of all time, Another World. If you don't know, Another World is almost like a 2D kind of Uncharted style adventure. It's very cinematic, lots of action. This couldn't be more different. It's about creating a thriving Animal Kingdom style food cycle within a virtual data-driven world. Now I know that sounds really crazy, and it is really crazy, but there's some really interesting things going on in this game. In the first level you explore kind of like an African style terrain. You can manipulate like the sand, and you can play with water, get it to spread through the environment in really interesting ways. But just playing with the animals, which appear as literal paper beasts, is really, really interesting and really just felt real. I was grabbing like these little food pellets, which were more balls of paper, and just kind of dragging them from one side to the other, and these four-legged creatures were like running after it, trying to feed off of it, and then I'd throw it and they'd run after it and catch it. And one thing that was really interesting was that when I was playing, I was being talked through, which actually made it feel like I was on safari in a really, really interesting and dynamic way. That's going to be an interesting linear adventure that's coming out early next year. I think it's probably my favorite thing I've seen today, but we've got a heck of a lot more to see tomorrow, so I'll let you know how it's going.